On the occasion of National Youth Day 2023, we invite you all to a panel discussion titled G20 Contributions to the 2030 Agenda for Youth Empowerment. My name is Mansi Khattar and I'll be your host for today. Swan Livelihood is a startup based out of Delhi aiming to empower youth through our specially designed training and learning program. It focuses on youth engagement and upskilling. In today's panel discussion, we have our eminent speakers with us. Our first esteemed speaker, Ms. Shagun Sharma, by profession is working with Restless Development India as a youth engagement officer, where she is leading meaningful youth engagement in different projects across various geographies. In the past, she has worked with Satva Consulting as an analyst and KPMG India as an audit associate, and she has experience of working with other globally renowned companies. We welcome her as the first panelist for a session. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. And with this, we move on to introduce our second panelist. Our second esteemed speaker, Dr. Manish Jindal, is the founder and CEO of Hover Robotics and the founding president of MentorX Global. He is awarded and honored with highest civilian honor, Karmavir Chakra, by United Nations I Congo. He is the Nobel Asian of the Year 2018 as well as six times TEDx speaker. He is the man who followed his dreams. He pursued his MBA at University of Technology, Sydney, Australia, and along with he is CPA from Australia itself. He holds PhD in robotics and artificial intelligence from USA. He came back to India making it big for himself and his fellow citizens. He's into suitcase living, keeps on traveling all the time, and living with the philosophy of making others rise. Dr. Jindal has penned down 12 books, has 7 patents in his name of India, Australia, and Germany. He has been awarded as the Human of the Year for his welfare and philanthropic work towards mankind. He is the one who believes in making others rise. Thank you so much for joining us today. And with this, we move on to introduce our third panelist. Our third esteemed speaker, Mr. Boris, is a long term supporter of the Youth Business International Network, where he sits on the board of trustees and the YBI Mentoring and Soft Skills Steering Committees. Boris' experience includes 30 years in the world of small and medium sized business development and 15 years working within the field of youth entrepreneurship and mentoring in entrepreneurship development. He works as a mentor, soft skills trainer, an organizational consultant, and a coach. Also spent time as a lawyer, psychotherapist, microfinance expert, partnership broker, and social entrepreneur. He has also developed mentoring and soft skill training programs within many Russian regions and is supported YBI network members in Serbia, Mongolia, Armenia, Nigeria, and many other countries to create or grow such programs. Boris also trains and supports mentors, entrepreneurs, and trainers from these countries. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. And with this, we move on to our panel discussion. Everyone's journey has their own ups and downs, and here we would like to know about the journey of our eminent speakers. And one by one, you can share your journey. So we can start with Miss Shagun, ma'am.
Thank you, Mansi, for the question. I'm really privileged to be here and share my journey with other young people who might be listening to the discussion with us. So I started my journey as a volunteer in 2017. I was in college and I was working with Project Fuel. And ever since, I have realized that volunteering is a tool which young people can actually use to upskill themselves. Because working with so many organizations across a spectrum of themes has enabled my ability to lead change at different levels in India, in South Asia, across the globe, and also within the local context of where we work. However, sometimes volunteering you know, in a household, especially like in Indian context, is looked like as an extracurricular activity. That's something that you do because you have some free time in your hands. But sometimes we have to shift the way we look at volunteering, and that's what worked for me in my journey. I started to look at volunteering as a means to enhance what I know, to expand the network of people that I know, and also to know stories of more and more people who may not have access to platforms like this and others to share their stories. So, my journey has been talking to young people, supporting them, mentoring them, to sharing my story along with their story so that we understand why it's important to volunteer more and not just look at it from a very myopic lens of an extracurricular activity. That's something which has enabled me, And this process of working with so many organizations, volunteering with them in different capacities, I have been able to support funding for youth led change across the globe. I have been able to mentor young people for their different projects. I have been able to lead and develop models of engagement for me, for different interventions within India and abroad as well. These skills come handy now because I was able to be on the other side for a long time and understand, okay, what it means to be meaningfully engaged as a young person. So I think my journey transitions from being a person who was too timid to speak when she was in school to somebody who is now able to address thousands of young people and able to address large audiences, leadership people across different organizations confidently, and also able to create an impact at a local level by making sure people have the safe space to share and discuss their concerns and also help them whenever they need it. That's in short my journey, and I think I like to pass it over to what the panelists to share.
Thank you, Shagun. So we can move on to Mr. Munish Gentle, sir.
I would love to hear from Mr. Boris first.
Okay, that would also work. Okay, Mr. Boris, you can go on and share your journey.
Okay, thank you. I think that uh, we all, all speakers who are here today, we all like to help to other people, and this is probably I'm not exception here. And all my working life, I'm trying to make life for other people better. And I started to do it as a lawyer, and all my life I support in small and medium business. But after a while, I understand that probably entrepreneurship is one of the most important things where I can be useful, and I can position myself as a social entrepreneur as well. And I'm supporting entrepreneurs in different ways. And during my life, I was a trainer, also a consultant. But then I probably like something like 15 years ago, I found when I started to work with Youth Business International, I found that complex and comprehensive support works better. Not just consultancy or training, but also when we can organize to young entrepreneurs also financial possibilities and mentoring. And mentoring from that point of time become my passion. And I believe in mentoring from the point of view that people who are more experienced and who are ready to help to those who have less experience, it works pretty well because these people can help them with things where probably consultants or trainers can't help because they didn't pass the same experience. And I also believe in mentoring, which organized in structured programs, meaning that it's very good that when somebody have experience, but if we're speaking about support to hundreds, thousands of young people, it should be organized through programs where it should be proper selection of mentors and mentees, induction training, matching, monitoring, support of mentors and mentees, upgrade of qualification of mentors, and other things. And this is what I am doing last years, and I will tell you a bit later about YBI. But I believe in mentoring, and I see how mentoring is helping to young people who are self-employed or who started their businesses. I see how they are growing, and what I'm personally glad to see, and I saw it in India when I was there in 2017, participating in Mentoring Summit, that in all countries where mentoring in entrepreneurship is working, we see now a new generation of mentors. This is former mentees, they're younger, they received support from mentors who were probably older than them, and now they're more closer to young generation, and they're very happy with the mentoring because it's changed their life, and now they're starting to change the life of others. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Boris, sir. So, yes, over to
Thank you,
you,
ma'am.
Mr.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction you gave, and it was indeed wonderful to hear Shagun ma'am about the importance of volunteering, and when then Mr. Boris how beautifully he talked about mentoring and the new age mentors that are coming up in the contemporary world. Well, I'm humbled to be among them, and if you talk about my journey, I believe our journey starts the moment we land into this world. But the real journey is, yes, when we step into the corporate world. I always wanted to do something different. I've been a commerce graduate, and I'm the pioneer of e-mobility in India. I got into artificial intelligence and robotics. In 2015, it was the vision to do something different. And I was in Australia. I was given the permanent residency to Australia, PR, and a 60 lakhs package, 6 million. I rejected everything, came to India to do something different here. So I'm the pioneer. I'm the one who launched robots, mobility robots, uh, Autobots in India. And this has hadn't been an easy journey, I would say, but it had been far more accomplishing. Started this organization from my hometown, Ludhiana, because it was a dream again that the day I'm going to do something different, that would be from my hometown. Now, people sitting in US, in Japan, in Silicon Valley, in Dubai, or any part of the world, they know that there's Dr. Chandra who's making mobility robots in Ludhiana. And from there on, the journey moved on beautifully to I started taking robotics and AI workshops for the youth, so that we can bring innovation to our nation at the very grassroots level. Because what we're doing is, India is a manufacturing economy, we say, and we are very well capable of making things here. But what we do, we still have to borrow the technologies from other nations. So this was the vision, that why not to innovate here in India. So that gave birth to MentorX, to educate, to empower, to elevate. I launched this organization from Delhi just with the view to nurture the youth. And from there on, the journey had been unstoppable. As of now, we are currently operational in 65 countries, and this had been a very beautiful journey. How we are nurturing the youth, imparting them the skill sets outside the purview of their academics. And when we launched this organization after a year, the pandemic happened. People were cribbing what to do, lockdown. We went digital within a span of 24 hours. And with the first wave, 20 countries, second wave, 35 countries. As of now, when we are speaking, 65 countries. And by the end of this year, we're going to win all the 200 countries for sure. And this is again for the youth, by the youth, of the youth, to nurture them, to empower them, and to make them grow. And this is the vision that I have seen for India and in the world at large, that whatever problems we have, we should be solving them at a global scale, and we should be having a holistic living with a sustainable world in the industry 4.0. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muniz, sir. It was indeed such an inspirational journey of all of you. And with this, we move on to the next question. We would now like to know about your organization programs and the initiatives taken to empower youth by you. So we can start with Shagun, ma'am.
Thank you, Mansi. So I work with Restless Development, and as an organization, we work with and for young people across India and the globe. So all our programs and all our interventions are aimed at meaningful youth engagement. And how do we do that? We make sure that young people are not just given tasks to do, but they also have a say in the designs of the program that we run, their reviews, and the impact that the program is supposed to have. So we try to create ecosystems, for them to lead and create the change. One of the core strategies that we use, when we work with young people and they work with us as volunteers, is we make sure they're fairly compensated for their time and efforts that they put in for the program to create the change that they're doing. Because it's important that young people's efforts and skills which they already have are valued, and they're looked at as important and relevant for the work that we're trying to do across different geographies, whichever program that we're running. We also try to focus on making sure that along with us, other people also believe in youth power. That's a hashtag that we use across the globe, where we try to reinstall the fact in our conversations, in our interventions, that young people have the ability to create the change that they need, in their communities, maybe in their households, maybe in their countries, or wherever they are based if they're a global citizen. To make sure that such change is reflected, we have interventions running across different parts of India. We work in Patna, in Munger, in Bihar. We work in Alwar and Jaipur in Rajasthan. We work in Ganjam in Orissa. We work in Pakur in Jharkhand. We have our work in Delhi. We also have our work spread across in Bangalore. So we work on different themes across these, locations. We empower young people to help adults and girls go back to school, in Munger. We also support young people's access to sexually productive health products and services and information. We also support young people to support other adolescents to learn about different career options and build their employability as well. For example, in one of our programs called STEM for Older Adolescent Girls, young girls are supporting adolescents in Alwar to learn about STEM through a tech enabled youth resource center that we have in Alwar itself. So we work in a small village in Alwar where we have build capacity of few young people who are again passing on the information through intervention with adolescents, going to their homes, talking to their families, also helping them know what STEM in the first place is, and how can they build their career in it, what are the options they have, and how can they actually pursue it. So we're trying to create dreams for young people who do not know about it, but also we're trying to build capacity of young people to be able to support that dreaming and that exploration, that experimentation in the process. That's in summary about our work. I like to pass it on to other speakers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shagun, ma'am. Pass on to Boris, sir.
Thank you, Mansi. I'm representing here a global network with the name Youth Business International, which is working in more than 50 countries. And in each country, including India, I will mention organization in India later, we are working with, as we call them, underserved young people, those who can't receive support from any other organizations or institutions. And we are helping them to create or grow their businesses. Part of them starting from self-employment, then they're growing business. Part of them starting business immediately. And very often for them, it's only one solution to survive or to live in their world, because it's very difficult to find a job or to find other possibilities. And as I mentioned, we are trying to help them with complex and comprehensive support. From this point of view, we understand from the beginning what they're missing, where we need to help them. And what is also important, that all these 50 plus countries who involved in this activity, we cooperate between ourselves, which means that, for example, in October, we organized our regular summit where our teams meet together and discuss how we can support young people better, who is doing what. We have this experience exchange and so on and so on. And we also have two big awards, Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award and Mentor of the Year Award, where we're trying not only to recognize and congratulate the best entrepreneurs and the best mentors, but we're also trying to make them as ambassadors of youth entrepreneurship. We're trying to show them as a cases which can be very interesting and for other young people. And I really like that such movement exists in and in our not easy times. It's very important that young people can know that in many countries there are organizations who are supporting them.
Thank you, sir. Over to you, Dr. Munish, sir.
Thank you so much. It's been incredible work done by Shagun ma'am and Boris sir. So we are no different, but we are running this Mentrix is an ecosystem that we're running, and it's been dedicated to all the 8 billion people on earth. There are no commercials involved in it. It is purely pro bono. It is to nurture the youth. So it is educate, empower, elevate. That's our vision and mission, that regardless of your age, your demographics, your geographies, wherever you're located in the world, if you're looking for any kind of skill set outside the purview of your academics, we are there for you. It could be life skills, soft skills, robotronics, mechatronics, artificial intelligence, entrepreneurship, startups. Whatever you're looking for, we are there for you. Then there comes like the youth. They come up with the ideas that we have startup idea, but we don't know what to do with that. Then we work towards their idea validation, incubating them, bootstrapping them, accelerating them to new level. We have our 6 incubators, 2 accelerators, connecting them with industry leaders, mentoring them, and getting them funding as well. We have done real world 3 versions of Shark Tanks, 4 now. We did one last month, whereby you come, you pitch live, And if your idea is accepted by the investors, as per your ask, you would be getting funded right there. And as well as we are part of the government initiatives as well. I'm looking after Atal Innovation Mission in India. I'm the regional mentor of change, whereby we are bringing innovation right from the schools. A robotics lab is being getting set up, Atal Tinkering Lab in the schools, right from the students of grade 3 or 4. Right from that onwards, innovation is being done. Students of grade 5, 6, and 7 of mine, I mentored them. They won a national prize, and they have devised a robotic shoe to clean the drainage system. And now they have been invited by international governments to be part of the international initiatives. And same way, there are Atal incubation centers in the universities that are established towards startup culture. Then we have our Mentorex youth chapters. What we do is we establish a youth chapter in any given school, college, institute, or university under the leadership of one of the students who act as the president of the chapter. Then there is a core committee that is created underneath him. Then any kind of e-summits, any kind of HR conclaves, entrepreneurship summits, startup summits you want, or any kind of industry connect, TEDx talks, whatever is required, we organize under their leadership. It is like they getting the hands on right from the scratch. That how do they go out, they connect with the industry, how do they meet the C-suite level people like the CEO, CTO, CMOs, how they connect with the directors, what all the resources are they required, how they will gather it, and they are organizing the entire thing. We act as the mentors, we stand by them throughout hand holding. Not only us, we have more than 350 mentors from 65 countries on board with us. It is more like mentor mentee one on one. Like there could be someone who's coming and who's looking for a particular mentorship in the field of pharma. I'm not expert in the pharma. We're going to connect them someone from the pharma field. So it is like a one on one hand holding. And then we do have our Mentorex youth ambassadors as well, who are promoting all the youth activities all across the globe, as well as we do our embassy meets as well. We make them meet to the ambassadors of different countries, whereby cross cultural exchanges, cross border educational exchanges, and cross business exchanges they happen. Sometimes there is a whole lot of a business delegation that is involved. We even do these international student exchange programs also, whereby students of other countries, other universities, they come together. They come to India in the same way youth from India, they visit another countries. So this is like we are making this world a global village, that there are no boundaries. You are one, and we are humans. Let's have that human touch, and let's exchange the knowledge unconditionally. This is what I always say, that what if you have something to offer, please give it to others unconditionally, without thinking what you are getting in return out of it. Because whatever you're doing, wherever you are today, someone has done something for you. Even if wherever I am today, people have connected dots for me. Someone has made me step on that ladder so that I reach here. So same with invisibly, visibly, people are doing things for you. So it is your moral responsibility to pay back. And the youth are the torch bearers to the future. So if whatever way we can nurture them, we should be. So this is the ecosystem entirely created for the youth, and it's purely pro bono.
Thank you so much for sharing such impactful initiatives taken by all of you. This year's G20 Development Working Group under India's G20 presidency will work to promote the universal sense of oneness. In this regards, we wish to know about your views on how G20 can contribute to 2030 agenda for youth empowerments, empowering youth as change-making agents. So, starting with Shagun ma'am. Yes.
Thank you, Mansi. So I was going through, the work that G20 has signed up for youth empowerment, and there's a G20 roadmap that they have created for empowering of young people, and a lot of focus is being given towards making sure that young people are employed, they have the education that they need to be employed, and that they can sustainably work. And I think in terms of the contribution that G20 can make towards youth empowerment through, uh, you know, to the entire game they're planning across employment is also for them to be able to understand how they can at core create programs which are led by young people, so that young people are leading the change that we're trying to create, because young people best understand what other young people might be facing, they, because they are in the same shoes at this stage. it's very easy for them, or not easy but comparatively easier for them to understand a peer young person's challenges, and also go out and create that space for young people, other young people, to be able to build their skills and capacities. So in my understanding, while G20 is working on empowerment of young people and trying to achieve, the 2030 agenda that we have, it's important that we look at different SDGs and see how can we create models of engagement where young people are leading this change for young people, so that we're actually having young people's voices and young people's leadership accounted at all levels. That's how we create meaningful engagement, because when we hear the communities we are working for, that's where it creates an opportunity for them to have a say in things that matter to them. I think that's something that can be used as a strategy further as we go on, not just at the implementation level or as the beneficiary of the program that we are developing, but also as the designers and advisors on the design of the program and the intervention that we're looking at as G20. That's something that we could do. India has dedicated youth ministry, and I think uh, having that lens, and there are other governments also which have a lot of focus with engaging young people as advisors. I think that's an important step. I think EU also has an advisory board of young people. It's important to have such models where young people do have a say in the design at the policy making level, at the implementation level, and also when we are going to the community, there is a space for them to be able to be open about the issues which matter to them without being scared of being judged, or without being able to share what they actually want. Because sometimes we go with our understanding of what the community wants, but we have to hear from what the community actually wants, and then build our mechanisms and systems to be able to create that change, what is needed in the communities, right? I think that's where we can look at when we're trying to empower young people, we're trying to build young people's capacity and also support them. So having them as leaders, having shared leadership, that's what we called it at Restless Development. We call it as shared leadership, where young people are part of the decision making process as well. We have young people in our boards, we have young people, international board, national boards, we have young people, sharing about how we can better improve our programs. They brutally share and they are honest about how things can be, made better, and how can we improve our interventions and our models for that. I think that's something that could be used. I have addressed the board trustees once, and I remember that they were very keen to understand, okay, what can we do better. I think that's the kind of conversation we need to have at in areas, in spaces like G20, where young people have that space to be able to put across things honestly and openly, and also contribute towards creating that shared vision of change and implementing that shared vision of change, and then move forward. I think that's something that I would really look forward to going forward, as to how India is, given that we have one of the largest youth populations across the world, how are we leading that, because we can be the pioneers there. So how can we make sure that in our presidency we are actually shifting power back to young people, right? So that's what I feel can be done, and I feel like it can complement the existing work and commitments towards young people, and then can be made more sustainable for years to come. That's from my side.
Thank you, ma'am. Over to you, Mr. Boris, sir.
Thank you, and thank you, Shagun. You said several words to which I will come back in my words, because you're inspiring it. I will concentrate more about entrepreneurship and mentoring. And I remember that when I was in India, I can say that I saw new generation of entrepreneurs who are more social entrepreneurs than just usual entrepreneurs. And when I say social, I mean that young people probably have more empathy and more understanding of social problems which exist, and they're trying to resolve these problems. Of course, they're also making money. They create working places for themselves and for their colleagues and friends. But what I really like in new generation, that they care about the society, they care about the place where they're living, and this approach, like social entrepreneurship approach, this is probably the future of entrepreneurship. And from this point of view, it's very important to us, and it's also important for corporate world, for experienced entrepreneurs to support young entrepreneurs, but as Shagun said, without this support should be non-judgmental support. It should be moral support without saying what and how young people should do. But those who have more experience should support them to help them to understand possibilities, but to give them possibility to choose themselves, to take decisions themselves, but with very, very careful and non-judgmental support. And in such way, we will give possibility to young people to move forward, choosing their way, but at the same time have this support where probably people who have some experience and know which mistakes they can avoid, where there is a dangerous situations about which it's better to think before to do some steps. And I think that such type of combination, when young people doing what they want and moving forward with careful support, is much better than somebody who is older decide instead of them and tells them what to do. I guess that in mentoring we can have this proper combination of experience and youth energy. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes, so
sir.
that's
Over to
indeed beautiful, how beautifully Shagun Ma'am and Boris sir has talked about the G20 agenda about the youth for 2030. And I'm glad that I'm able to share my viewpoints. See that the charter basically focuses more about education, employment. I don't say that this is the thing that we should be discussing in 21st century. This is maybe 100 year or 200 year thing, and this is a basic necessity. And rather than creating the jobpreneurs, I always say that let's focus more on towards making the entrepreneurs, so that they should be creating more of the job opportunities. This I have always favored in my lifespan. And the very first thing towards that is to make the youth aware that any resources available in any given nation, they belong to these youth. Because the keys to any given nation are going to pass down to the youth. Youth are the ones who are going to run any given nation, right? So they should be made aware that these resources are meant for them, and those resources are at their disposal. Once they get to know, they will feel empowered. Then we have to work in the direction what they are bringing on the table. They should be heard rather than they should be given something as a task. The first necessity is they should be heard. This is how we work in our organization. Like, this is a very tiny example. I'm an entrepreneur. We create entrepreneurs inside my education. Inside my organization, what I ask my people, if you have any idea, bring it on the table, let's discuss it, and then I ask them itself to implement that idea. So, this way, our organization is growing exponentially. More ideas on the table, they themselves are implementing and they feel empowered. So, this is what we have to do when we're dealing with the youth in any given nation. They should be heard, their ideas should be listened upon to, and those ideas should be worked upon. Those ideas will change the course of this world, because the youth is getting aware that yes, we need to have a sustainable world, as Shagun is really big time working towards that already, and I'm already advisor to United Nations. We're working on sustainable goals. We really need to have a sustainable world. We really need to have a holistic living, and any economy would prosper when their youth are aware and when their youth feel empowered. So this is what is required. And when we're talking about G20, the nations, they almost cover more than 60% of the GDP of the world. Those 20 nations itself, if you look closely, the group of those 20 nations, they cover more than 60% of the GDP of the world. So this G20 charter would affect every three people out of five. Imagine the enormous, humongous power this has. We are already in India working at vision called Vision 2030, that any problem in the world, India will have a solution to that by 2030. And that would only be possible that we are big time working with the youth. And if you talk about, as Boris sir mentioned, that the youth is coming, the new gen of the youth is coming up, and they're coming big time with the innovation part. If you look at the startup culture, the founders, they are the young lads. They are not even university pass outs as yet, right? They are bringing innovation on the table. Either they are innovating, they are creating, or they are disrupting the existing markets. And that is big. That is big. Now, what is happening? Each nation, they're boosting about their resources, their youth, their innovations. The most important factor I would say here is that this G20 has to come together as one, regardless of their international borders. They have to come together as one. They have to run exchange programs whereby the youth of each other's countries, they are visiting each other. They're seeing what exactly is happening there. If something is required for them, that should be done by them. And if they can grab something out of there, any of the technologies or knowledge or something, that should be passed on to them. We shouldn't be keeping something in one country, shouldn't be keeping something in the enclosure so that others that it doesn't belong to it, it only belongs to us. Like India is known as the pharmacy of the world. During pandemic, India opened up itself to the entire world. I'm not boasting only about India. All the countries, that they helped each other. So pandemic was the time when each and every country came together and they joined hands to fight pandemic globally. So why can't we do it in the usual days? Why cannot we do it every day? Why can't we come together, join hands, and do this every day and make this world a better place to live in? Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your views. We would like to know how can youth or any other organizations can also get involved in the work you are doing. If there is any such collaboration opportunities, then please do share with us. Starting with Ms. Shagun ma'am.
Thank you, Mansi. So, youth organizations working across India or even outside India can join our Youth Collective. So, Youth Collective is our platform where we host around 3,000, over 3,000 youth organizations, and we also reach out to them, share with them the opportunities for collaboration, opportunities for learning and growth. And then we also reach out to these organizations for partnership for different programs that we run, because we want to make sure that youth-led organizations and these, they might be registered, unregistered, but we try to find ways in which we can help them thrive, not just survive, and we can provide them space to showcase their work and also kind of further strengthen their work within their community that they're doing. So one such place is Youth Collective, where people can register. The other place that we share about opportunities and partnerships is our social media handles, both India and our global handles, where we share about different opportunities that young people can access. For example, whenever we have a program coming in, we advertise roles for different interventions, and young people can apply and select young people to kind of lead the work in their communities. We do not have a model where we invite young people from X location to go to Y location and work. We work with people from the X location itself and work there. That's the kind of model that we try to focus on. So I would request young people and the organizations to look out for our updates that we share on our social media handles. And the themes of work that we focus on is education, livelihoods, voice and democracy. We focus on climate justice. We also focus on research and youth-led projects and social action projects within their communities. Our core work is also around SRHR, along with all the themes that we work on. So I would request people to consider joining Youth Collective and also kind of look out for opportunities on our social media handles.
Thank you so much for sharing the details. Over to you, Mr. Borisov.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I was invited to this event by SWAN, Skilled Workforce Advancing Nation, and together with this organization, together with my colleague Meghna, we are working in we call it working group with the name Mentoring in Entrepreneurship in Youth Economic Opportunities, YEO organization. And in this working group, we're combining people from different countries, and we are trying to create a lot of interesting information and materials for youth mentoring programs. And through SWAN, you can collaborate with our activity in India. And in May, it will be a global summit of youth economic opportunities. And I hope that together with Meghna, we will introduce the subject of mentoring on this global summit, and we will discuss how we can organize more help for young generation. And also, because we are speaking also about India, I have very good partners in India, and this organization BYST Bharatiya Yuva Shakti Trust, and Lakshmi Venkatesan, who is a CEO and of this organization. We know each other many years, and I know that this organization is a member of Youth Business International Network, supporting, as in other 50 countries, supporting young entrepreneurs. And I personally saw how it's happened in different regions. I saw what was interesting for me to study Indian mentoring experience and this idea of guru mentoring, but also some international combination between Indian mentoring experience and international mentoring experience. And I was happy to see that there is a mutual support between people. I was very happy to see mentoring mobile clinics where mentors come to the areas where probably consultancy centers or doesn't exist. And I was one of these mentors who on the bus traveled to other regions. And I was very happy to see that in any places, it can be big towns, it can be rural area, people are thinking about each other. They're thinking how to support each other. And young people, this is part of the community which are ready to take their steps to move forward with the support of more older generation, I mean in entrepreneurship. And I think that collaboration, from my point of view, it's very important and very and word in India, which is really working. I mean, I saw so many examples of collaboration. And I know how my colleagues from India collaborate with other countries, with organizations, with international things, and all what I can say is that please continue collaboration which you have, improve, develop it, and together we can do more than separately. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Over to you, Dr. Manish, sir.
Wow, that's wonderful. Shagun ma'am, your youth collectives, and Boris sir, your international initiatives, they are incredible. And I'm sure they are nurturing youth at a mass scale. That's really, really wonderful. So we at Minterex, we have multiple domains to help youth. And again, all are pro bono, no charges associated to it. So I'm making a global call today. Any of the youth located in any part of the world, come join us in whatever form you want to join. We don't have anything specified that okay, if you are coming you have to be part of it. No, you will bring something on the table and you will do it. So it is like if you're looking for any kind of skill set, any kind of skill you want to develop, we have certified programs for that. One. Second, if you're looking forward to have your own startup, then right from your idea validation to lean startup to calculating your MVP, minimum viable product, to incubating you, providing you a physical space as an incubator, to accelerating you to new level, connecting you with industry leaders, along with government subsidies if available in your field, and mentoring. All those things are there. Then, if you want to be Mentorex Youth Ambassador, come over, represent Mentorex, and be part of our international initiatives in various countries, as well as part of United Nations, UNICEF, UNESCO, and all. Then we do have our youth chapters. If any of the students, youth who want to have their own youth chapter in their schools, institutes, colleges, or universities, most welcome. We can do that, and if we can even help you establishing your ECEL, entrepreneurship cell, in your universities and your TBIs, technology business incubators. We are the first ones to establish the first ever TBI for Mauritius as well. The first technology business incubator. We are starting the startup economy in Mauritius as well, along with India. So if you want to do that, that can be done, as well as we have internship opportunities, not only with us, but with various other larger global conglomerates, whereby you work the kind of, and the best part about internships is the kind of internships we have devised, regardless of your education, regardless of your age, doesn't matter what you're studying, doesn't matter what your age is, you can have internship programs. And internship programs are so quick, even there is a small 6 weeks program as well that you can take even during your summer break, that or even as large as like a 6 months internship program, whereby you learn one, yes, and you get certified as well, and you get the credentials of the CEOs or the CTOs or the directors of the organizations. Then we have youth cohorts as well, whereby we collaborate the youth together. We meet say once a week, once a month, It's me, and we discuss the ideas, the brainstorming, the knowledge, the innovation part. Then we do take these youth cohorts internationally as well, like traveling to maybe various parts of the world. There, the summits also happen. They get to meet the educational heads, universities over there, as well as the business arena, the corporate world, as well as the governments of those respective countries. They get to know what exactly is happening there, as well as if they want to start something up there in those countries, they the proper infrastructure, hand holding, and know-how is provided. So it is like again more like providing them a global arena and under one roof. We have right now touched lives of more than 1 million people, 1 million youth, I would say. And the journey is unstoppable. And I'm now looking forward to, cross collaborate with Shagun ma'am as well as Boris sir, because I know when I will have these two wonderful human beings, by my side, this journey will become even bigger and even huge. And yes, Swan and Meghna ma'am, that she's doing wonderful. So together, all of us can build up an entire universe for the youth. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing the pool of opportunities to the youth. After such an inspirational and knowledgeful session, we conclude this panel discussion. At last, please share your words of inspiration to the young change makers who are listening to you. Starting with Ms. Shakunmar.
Thank you, Mansi. I have three things I want to tell to young people, which I have learned, and I am still learning, of course. Everybody is always evolving. My first lesson is first takeaway from them is take your time to explore, experiment, and make mistakes. And you can do that when you try to understand what you are, who you are, and what you want for yourself, your communities, and if you think about the world at large. So it's important that you explore, experiment, and make mistakes in the process of growing yourself, because that's how you will get to know, okay, this is what is meant for me, this is what is not meant for me, this is how I want to create change or how I don't want to create change. Second is, we talk a lot about change everywhere, but change can really mean different things to different people. So it's important that as young change makers, you understand what your definition to change is. What does it mean to create change to you, then you can make life choices which really help you to create that definition of change which you have. And it can also help you be satisfied and happy with what you have done, because now you know what you want to do and you're enabling yourself to have those life circumstances to do that. And the third thing is, don't be scared to raise your voice. It matters how you raise your voice, but take every opportunity you get to have a voice for yourself, for your peer change makers, and also for your communities, because people will not get to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're going through unless you share. Unless you have a voice which tells them that this is what is going on, they will not know. And that whatever you want, the support you want, the encouragement you want, maybe the time off that you want, or the challenges that you're facing, you want solutions for that. People will not be able to help you unless you tell them what you need. So use every opportunity to have a voice for yourself and for your communities and networks, so that uh, more people can hear you, and also you can create that ecosystem in the long run which helps you solve the challenge that you're facing and also support you as you grow. So that's my three learnings that I wanted to pass on.
Thank you, Ms. Shagun ma'am. Over to you, Mr. Boris, sir.
First of all, I agree with all what Mrs. Shagun said, and I really like it. And I probably I will say just several things because I can't advise something to all youth. I can say something to those youth who involved in entrepreneurship area, and here I can say that there is always two ways in the life: to work for somebody or to work for yourself. And to work for yourself, it's more risky, more unstable, but here it's more passion, more possibility to for self-realization and to find what you exactly wish to do for yourself and other people. And for those who will choose the way of own life or own business, I can say that in each country, and I already mentioned what exists in India, as my colleagues also mentioned, initiatives, programs, and so on. There are people who can help you. And I guess that, for example, if we're speaking about mentoring, don't be shy. Please find your mentors, speak with them, trust them. They will trust you. They will help you. And then, when you will achieve something, please remember that you received some support which help you to achieve it. And probably in the next stage of your life, you can do the same for other people who are behind you, for the next generation. And this is how, in principle, life can move forward, because if somebody helping us, then when we feel stronger, we can help to others. Please remember about this, and I wish you any possible luck, and I'm sure that the young generation will do all what they can. Thank you.
Wow,
Thank you, sir.
that's incredible. And thank you, Shagun ma'am, for such a wonderful message that you have passed on to the youth and the kind of work you are doing towards them. And Boris, sir, thank you for completing the circle. You know, I call it a life circle. What goes around comes around, and I'm glad that we all are on the same page, and you have completed the circle. That yes, until unless you pay it back, your circle is not complete. And that is why whatever I'm doing, this is more like when I started, there was no one to help. Because when I started, the industry leaders were not that open to handhold you. So it was my notion that whenever I'm going to reach somewhere in my life, I'm going to help people. And the most important part, if we're talking about youth, is I will keep it quick. First is dedication. Remain dedicated. Whatever idea you have in your life, if you're willing to give 3 to 4 years of that with all the dedication, determination, perseverance, your sweat and blood, I can give you in writing, you are going to be the most successful human being in your life. That is my assurance to you. This is what I do. Every 3 years, I start a venture from the scratch, right from the scratch, where I am the CEO, I am the peon, I'm the clerk. I started with all my blood, sweat, hard work, determination, make it work, put it on autopilot, another venture. That is how I've managed to have 9 companies in past 27 years. So this is most important. Second key is the coordination. You have to coordinate with each other. When I launched my hover robotics, I started from my hometown, wanted to take it pan India. I realized one of my friend was in one of the logistics company. I called him up, call of 2 minutes, and he said, Munish, you do the work you're doing. I will look after your operations pan India. So just one friend, call of 2 minutes, I went pan India. Imagine if you start collaborating with each other. Imagine tomorrow you're gonna be the CEOs of the organizations, or you're gonna be into the corporate world, or you're gonna be the entrepreneurs. Imagine top 100 organizations on your speed dial. How's that? How wonderful is that? That you can just take out your cell phone, you can call anyone in the world, the top 100 super strong entities in the world. So they're gonna be your friends. Yes, the top 100 now, they're gonna be replaced by someone, and they could be your friends in the future. So coordination is the key. Keep coordinating, and then create your network. Your network is your net worth. I right now am connected with people all across the world. Just with a text on my cell phone, I can move things across the globe. So create your network, right network, hang out the people you want to become. And creating your network is most important. I don't know how many of you are on Facebook and Instagram, but go on LinkedIn, have the like-minded people, the top shots in your connections, and then interact with them. That is gonna have the life-altering experiences. And as Boris sir and Shagun ma'am mentioned, that we really need to have a mentor. Have a mentor in your life, and have a long-term mentor. And don't ever shy away, don't ever hesitate or have any hitch in asking. If you need something, ask them, knock a door. Try to, if it doesn't open up, knock another one. Doesn't open up, knock another one. Doesn't open, create your own door. But don't ever shy away or have any hesitation in asking whatever you want. And then last thing that I will close by is, we rise by uplifting others. Whenever people around you, take them along with you. Make them rise. Make sure they're rising with you. You alone shouldn't be sitting at the top. You should be leading by example and creating more leaders. Thank you so much.
Thank you for speaking today at National Youth Day. We are grateful for the time and effort you all took to share your thoughts and experiences with us. I want you all to know that the experience you have shared with us would have a significant impact on many of us. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Vanshi ma'am. Thank you, Shagun ma'am. Thank you, Boris sir. It's a privilege for me to be with all of you, and I'm looking forward to more of the opportunities to work together with you. I don't want to limit it to just to this webinar. Let's join hands in whatever way you think I could be of any help. Please feel free to reach out to me, or I'm more than willing to join hands with you. And whatever I can do, I'm always available 24x7. And same is, I would love to pass on the message to Meghna ma'am. And thankful to Meghna ma'am, heartfelt gratitude for taking this initiative with Swan and making this possible on National Youth Day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
And
you.
I look forward to working with you in the future.